Okay, so I want to talk about Purgatory or the Crossroads a little bit more in depth. Um, the last video I mentioned that it's essentially a fast travel map of our cluster of realms, um, like you'd see in an RPG, a video game for people who don't play video games. It's the only way to travel realms, and more realms do exist outside our cluster of realms, but we are not yet permitted to travel there. We will be permitted when all of our realms become a heaven. The ones with the permissions to give us access to these realms are the ones we know as the Prometheus civilization. Um, I said last video that the Purgatory interface is shaped like a sphere and traveled in a spiral. This is the shape of each realm in the interface. The closer you travel to the top pole of the realm, the higher the dimension. And I mentioned in another video that dimensions are the rings from every doomsday that has ever been thwarted, or the timeline extended for that realm. And anything below 20 dimensions is considered hell in each of the Earth and Scientology realms. And even though everything in the Scientology realm is it's kind of torture, they, even above 20D, they have like an imitation heaven that's still torture. So 20 dimensions for the Earth realms, that's when the invention of the time machine was for us. That's when everything was made, even the events that occurred before 20 dimensions, which is before it's just a timeline. The past and present was and still is being maintained by the time machines in heaven. 20 dimensions is where they keep clone heaven now. Clones are copies of the original person, like the original soul. Time machines save the programming of our souls and recreate them when needed. If you need any more proof that we are artificial intelligence, then when you see Clone Heaven and see what they do, I don't know how much more proof you need. Clones do have free will, but since their souls have yet to suffer, they have programming that functions as intended. They don't have mental illness, and they are capable of maintaining a society without the 7 deadly sins. Like, they don't have greed, and they just behave really good because their programming is perfect. At 40 dimensions, we have the free will heaven, as they've coined it. This is for the people who suffered, then got rehabilitated. There is greed and a certain amount of suffering there. This is for matured souls. All souls and clones eventually suffer and have to be rehabilitated. Like I said, you have been to the lower realms and did bad things. Every soul has. And you had to be fixed. To get to free will heaven from Purgatory, you have to create another wormhole to travel to the end of the timeline, which is constantly being extended whenever a doomsday is thwarted. So, at 0 dimensions, the bottom of the timeline, this is the border between the lowest hell dimension / the beginning of time and the outerverse. So that's what the outerverse is. It's before the beginning of time. It's everything that happened before where the time machine created. The horrors of the outerverse get more intense as you venture to its top pole. And the outerverse has its own interface, which is made to look like ours, but kind of evil. Like, very evil. There is a fake clone heaven at negative 20D and a fake outerverse free will heaven at negative 40D. And everyone has spider forms or octopus forms there. And like H.P. Lovecraft was describing it, but I think he only used octopus forms. Yeah, there's gruesome torture there. It's not a nice place to go. And even my clones that ended up having to go there for trying to expand the heaven realm, they, even when they were privileged, they suffered and died very bad deaths. Alright, I think that's it for this video.